Hey YouTubers, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a long overdue response to MrFartboy's last music thread that he put up a couple weeks ago. I actually did a response about a week or so ago, and I accidentally erased it and never got back around to, getting it posted or reshooting it and posting it or whatever. So I apologize, man. It's taken a long time for me to get back to you, but here's my response, and as always, let me know what you guys think. He had 5 really good questions here. 1 or 2 were kind of some questions that we've done in past threads, but I think we're really at that point now to where it's impossible to go back and see every thread, and we've asked so much that we're going to see a lot of overlap now. But I think that can also be a good thing in our threads, because if you guys are anything like me, I know that one day you can ask me what's my favorite this, and I'll give you an answer, and the next day you ask what's my favorite this in the same category, I give you a totally different answer. So I think it could be kind of good to end up redoing some of the questions we've done in past threads, because obviously, music can change and change us in a millisecond. So anyway, let me jump into his questions here. Question number 1: give an example of brilliant lyrical writing, and who is your favorite lyricist? There really are 2 different categories that I have to look at when you ask me about lyrical writing or lyricists. There's one category that's more about the individuals who tell great stories, who kind of puts together great album concepts that all kind of revolve around this one incredible theme or story. So that's one category. And in that category, individuals for me that I would consider to be great lyricists and lyrical writing, your Bob Dylans, of course. Bruce Springsteen would be a big one as well. I just love the way that, even though politically he doesn't seem to understand it, but that's a whole nother video, but through his lyrics, just kind of understanding the motivations, feelings, and the just kind of the essence of small town living. It's just he seems to capture that just so well through the stories that he tells, just song after song, album after album. It's incredible. So he's definitely one of my favorite lyrical writers there. And I've already mentioned Bob Dylan. I would kind of throw Seal in that category for me too, as far as lyricist. I think he creates some of the most emotional lyrics and music that just takes me to incredible places every time I hear it, and I think it's absolutely fascinating. And I loved how he said that a lot of times he doesn't put all of his lyrics and everything in his in the stuff that comes with his music, because he wants people to kind of take what they hear and interpret it in their own way. And I think he does an incredible job of that. So those are the 3 off the top of my head that I would automatically pick. The second category of lyricists would be the individuals who aren't necessarily the great storytellers or album for album, just write all these incredible lyrics, so to speak, but the individuals who have managed just to, here and there, they'll put out 1 or 2 sentences that'll just completely move me in a way that I would just never think that one simple sentence would. Sorry, I stopped the record over here. And those 2, considering that both of these phrases I have tattooed on my body, which kind of shows the power of that to me. Number 1 is Godsmack. And again, with that group, you don't necessarily automatically think about Sully being the most incredible, lyricist of all time and that type of thing. But it's just these 1 or 2 lines that he'll slip in here or there that just really kind of connect with me. And the one that really comes to mind is from the song Moon Baby, where he simply says, "My pain is caused by my pleasure." That to me is just so powerful, just because when I hear that, and when I sing those lyrics, when I'm singing that song, the feeling that I get is that one sentence just summed up and connected with every single person that has ever walked the face of this earth. No matter what our pleasure is, in seeking comfort, seeking companionship, seeking love, seeking friendship, contentment, just whatever it might be, seeking that pleasure that we desire so much in life is always the same thing that opens the door to a lot of the pain that comes into our life. Whether it's something as, I guess regular, if you will, as trying to open our hearts up to someone to build that connection, but I'm sure many of us have been crushed by opening it up as well. Again, my pain is caused by my pleasure and my seeking of this pleasure. Or even somewhere on the other far end of the spectrum, someone who gets relief from doing drugs, cocaine or whatever else, this feeling of taking away their worries and pain. Well, yeah, that's the pleasure that they seek, but what kind of doors does cocaine abuse and alcohol abuse, as far as pain, what does that open up to you? So I think anytime you can make a statement like that, that to me can encompass and actually work for everyone, that's some powerful stuff. That's the kind of stuff that makes kings, that makes, you say, and I'm not comparing solely to this person, but if you say something as simple right now as, I have a dream, that one sentence, you know who that connects to. You know the entire movement that connects to, what it did in this country, that one sentence. And so that's very powerful to me. But anyway, I'm getting way too off into stuff like that. The second one would be Metallica. And exact same thing. They're not writing all these incredible songs that will go down in history as some of the best lyrics ever, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's sentences like, my lifestyle determines my death style, from the song Frantic. Again, tattooed. Because, again, that to me captures everyone's life and no one can get away from that. Your lifestyle, the things you do, the things you care about, the man or woman you decide to be, your choices of doing right or wrong, your choices to love or to hate, all across the board. All of that will determine your death style, how you die. Do you die with regrets? Do you die leaving a legacy to this world that it really mattered that you were here, that you did something to make a difference in other people's lives and in the existence of the world? I mean, on and on. I mean, just think about how much that encompasses with all of us. So again, very, very powerful stuff, and maybe I take those lines deeper than most people do, but that's what music's all about. You capture that line that just moves you and takes you to that place. So anyway, let me move along. I spent a lot of time on that question, but it was a very, very important one to me. Question number 2. In my opinion, what is the single most important event I've witnessed or lived through in rock and roll or music in general? Well, simply put, and I don't think it's as important now, but I think it will be seen this way, if I'm looking at it 20, 30 years down the line. But I remember exactly where I was and exactly what was going on when I got the news that Michael Jackson died. Matter of fact, even at that moment when I heard, I made a conscious effort that day to really take in and absorb what was going on and not just kind of fly through it and, just go off to the next day. Because when you really get down to it, you could easily argue that 3 of the biggest losses in the history of music, period, Elvis, John Lennon, and Michael Jackson. I mean, you could easily argue that, I think. So, looking back on things, I'm sure many people remember where they were when Elvis passed away, when Lennon passed away. With me and my generation, I was there when Michael Jackson passed away. So I think that will be even more so in the future. I'll get that sense, and people will overall. Okay, question number 3. What is the best album to party to? Take party any way you like. Well, obviously it depends on, like I said, how you take party, but the album that I chose is this one right here, which is Bob Marley and the Wailers. This is Legend, of course, which I'm sure all you guys know. The reason why I picked this album is this is the most diverse album from an emotional and interacting standpoint. And what I mean by that is you could have friends come over, throw on the barbecue or grill, and you guys are dancing, having a good time or whatever else. You could put this album on, it'll fit right in. People be dancing to it, people be chilling to it, whatever. You can go on a road trip where you just kind of, sitting back, chilling, driving in the car. You can put this on, it absolutely works. You could go on a date, come back to your house, things start getting a little romantic. You could put this on, it still works. There is no place that you cannot play this album where it just does not fit in. I mean, it's the ultimate anytime, anywhere, any place, anything, any event album. You know, you could play some of this at a I don't know what, Elks Lodge. You know, you could play some songs off this and people wouldn't freak out. And you can go into just about any club anywhere and play something off of this album, and again, it would still fit in. So, to me, that is your ultimate party, do anything type album. Question number 4. 1 to 3 songs you like to have played at your funeral. These are the first 3 that came to mind. There's obviously a number of them, but Willie Neal Johnson and the Gospel Keynotes, the song Rise Again. I think that's an absolute fabulous song. I wouldn't mind having that played at my funeral. One of my favorite gospel groups there. And going back to the Anytime, Anyplace, Anywhere thing, Redemption Song by Bob Marley. I mean, again, party, romantic, death, doesn't make a difference. There's something off of this album that would fit in. So, Redemption Song by Bob Marley. And the third one here, not actually the song, but I would love to have someone do an acoustic version of this as kind of my message to people at my funeral. And it would be Leanne Womack, I Hope You Dance. I really like the powerful message that's within that song. And at a time where people might be, you know, hurting and mourning, because, I mean, you lost me, I mean, of course. I think it would be great for me to know that I was able to pass, or that song to be positioned in my services as if I'm passing that message back to them. They're like, hey, you know, I've enjoyed my life while I was here, I'm gone, but make sure that you guys from this day forward take advantage of every single minute. That's the message I'm sending you from beyond. Embrace everything. And I think that song, the lyrics really do that. So those are the 3 that I would pick for that. Again, a nice acoustical version, not playing what she did on there, because that would just be way too cheesy. It's too popish. But question number 5. If you woke up tomorrow and your entire collection was gone, never to be seen again, would you start over, or what would you buy first? What would you do differently? Would I start over? Most definitely. My entire collection, every album I have is insured, so I would get the money to be able to purchase all that again. So as far as what would I buy first, I pretty much buy the way that I buy right now, you know, which is basically I'm just very opportunistic. I'm always searching the internet. I'm always, you know, roaming through stores, blah, blah, blah. So when I see something, you know, I grab it. And that's pretty much the way I would rebuild my collection. What would I do differently? Not really much of anything. The only thing I would have done differently when I actually started collecting now was the organizational piece. I would have started that from day one as opposed to waiting until I had 1,000 or 1,500 records before I started doing it. But other than that, I think things really wouldn't change whatsoever. I mean, it would pretty much be right in the same pace. So anyway, MrFartboy, again, sorry it took me so long to get back to you, but those are my answers. And as always, guys, let me know what you think. All right, take care.